All right, you're still watching Ways. Single Awareness Day. It's on February 15th. How do I feel it's targeted at Alero? So if you're single and you totally despise Valentine's Day in all of its commercial glory, this is the perfect holiday for you. Originally, Valentine's Day became a sad day, so they call it Singles Awareness Day. That's sad. It became a sad day for people without significant order, so they decided to revolt and take that acronym back. So they chose empowerment and self-love instead of indulging in a self-loathing sorry. And in words of pop sensation Lizzo, true love finally happens when you're by yourself. So Single Awareness Day is now celebrated by loving yourself. So all the single ladies, It's
not only single ladies, single men as well.
Now we are here. No, but the truth is, single men are there, but the stigma is more
on women.
Yes. Because they feel like a man is not married, not because he has not found, it's just because he's not ready.
Yes, that's how they feel.
But they feel like a woman is single because the man never show.
Or she's too picky.
Or the man is not available, she's too picky, or she cannot be married, or she's too old to be married. There are too many stigmas around women. But when they see a 50-year-old man that is single, they know handsome bloke. What's that guy's name before he finally got married? What's that guy's name? The one in Hollywood that before he finally got
Idris Elba.
Not Idris.
Idris.
The king of
George Clooney.
Thank you, George Clooney, the king of singleness. They were saying it was cool, it was this. But if it was a woman in her 50s, never married, they will call.
The biological clock is ticking.
They will also even call like prayer warriors on your case. You will take it to mountain.
Probably a spiritual problem.
Yeah. So love yourself today. Be sad today, right?
In a good way.
Why do you have to be sad though?
Not be sad now. Singles Awareness Day.
The acronym.
Be conscious of sadness today. But that's it though. All right, so let's move into our story. But Alero, really, you're not single. Don't be claiming this.
Well, I believe this is national TV, so if you feel like I belong to you, you can speak up.
Forever hold your peace.
A national awareness, right there.
All right, now let me come to you. What did you find for us in the news?
All right, well, I guess it's a continuation of Elsie's story yesterday about ASUU beginning the 4-week rollover strike. And governors opposed the action in different state universities. So this is day two of the strike that started yesterday on Monday. And following the government's failure to meet their demands, ASUU, the Academic Staff Union of Universities, and the national president, Professor Emmanuel Sedeke, disclosed during a press conference at Unilag at Akoka. He said that since the last meeting that they had in December, the federal government has not answered to the requests that they have asked for, the things that they've asked for, and then they commenced with the strike yesterday. And the interesting thing is that some governors are asking the unions in their different states not to join the strike, so that this is coming at a time where there's a lot. The elections are coming around the corner. There's a lot at stake, and I'm wondering how, if this is feasible, one, because at the end of the day, the people who are really affected by the choices that are being made by ASUU are actually the students, and this does not affect private schools as well. So while federal schools are going on strike, other schools continue to have their engagements, and the students are the ones that are losing out.
Sure.
So this is, I'm wondering because a majority of students still attend federal schools, and if most of them are going to be out this season, because it's going to go, the strike is for 4 weeks. So if they're going to be out of school for the period, it's catastrophe right there. We have a lot of people who will not be engaged, who will be idle, and will already have issues that are underlining, I mean, we're talking about ritual killing, we're talking about Yahoo. So when the mind is idle, how does it, and I'm wondering if these people are really thinking about, could it be that because the kids are not in private school or are not in these federal schools, they're mostly in private schools? Or why isn't the federal government also paying attention to the needs or to the demands? So these are questions that we're asking.
ASUU strike has been going back.
They say when the elephant fights, or it's the grass that suffers.
Yeah.
So yeah,
the truth is this issue has been on for too long,
quite some time.
And I also feel like even at this point, we need to even sit with ASUU. What really do they really want? Because do you still want children to continue to be in institutions for years longer than the number of years they're supposed to be getting an education? Because
right?
it's getting too messy for me.
Remember when we were in school?
I was actually speaking to someone. I was saying, why can't we just privatize
universities?
Schools, yes. Because if you look at private organizations,
we have even lost the tertiary institutions.
Yeah, he was saying that no, if you do that, it means that the masses will not be able to afford schools. Look at the private schools; they're quite expensive.
Very expensive.
You know, so how do we private? Because I was okay. So even if we do not privatize government schools or government-owned schools, can we find a way that the management of those schools is not handled by the government? Is handled by private organized institutions or organized bodies that are trained to understand administrative, you know, so that whatever funds that is coming and all of those things, it is the way you have estates these days, where you have the estate management managing and running the affairs of the estate. Do you understand? So if we have something like that, even with our educational institution, I think it will go a long way.
It's pretty sad that the children, or rather the students, basically have to go through or suffer what the bodies of the schools are deciding to do. The parents will also suffer because they're spending longer time in school. They're supposed to spend 4 years. They're spending 5-6 years.
I remember
their parents will spend more money. It's a lot of. In fact, I don't even know how the children of these students and the students are going to manage it. I don't even know how the parents will. Remember when COVID started, and then families have to start thinking of, oh, my children are home, I have to go to work, I have to. So all of that is still going to affect every other person aside the government. So the government are the people that were fighting, but the children and the students and the parents are suffering.
Absolutely. So they have to just, that's what I'm saying, that I think at this point we just have to find a solution that is outside of the government intervention.
Exactly. It's not just about strikes. It really,
let's find a solution that is more lasting. Alara, let's come to you. What's your story?
My story basically is about a lady that ended her marriage, or rather she was engaged to her man, and she broke up with him because of his family. So apparently he lives in Lekki. He's a Lekki big boy, always having parties every weekend, giving millions to friends. And she visited his family at Ugwu in Lagos State, only for her to find out that his mother sells vegetables in the market, and his parents are staying in a house with zinc and all of that. And she felt like, you know what, I don't think I can do this. And she ended the relationship with him. And I feel like that's like the best decision she has ever made. Because, I mean, for every single woman that wants to get married, everybody always advises you that the way your man treats his mom, the way he treats his family, is going to determine how he's going to treat you. So if right now he's treating you all good, spending the money on you on Gucci and trips, and then you go home and his mother is actually not, living the way his wife or his girlfriend is living. So she felt like, no, I can't do this anymore. I have to end this relationship. And I give her kudos for that, because, I mean, it takes a lot of guts for a woman to be with a man that is rich and decide to say no to it and just, stand on your integrity to hold on to it. That is, I commend her. She really did a great job.
As holding on to your integrity. Oh, mommy, I will run, because that money cannot be pure.
Where's the money from?
No, it's true. The money cannot be pure. It's like the Baba has told him that if you take care of your parents, that money is going to disappear. Because I don't understand. I can never for the life of me understand the rationale behind you living in a palatial home and your parents are in a thatched house.
The people that
your family
train you.
But the thing is that some people just want to run away from anything
that looks like poverty. And that's why you should
bring them out of it.
Exactly. What if they don't want to leave?
And no, there's nobody.
What if they don't want to leave the vicinity?
No man, leave all this year.
I mean, come on. Let's assume that her mom, his mother and father probably wants to live in that area. Buy them another house. Buy them something. Make sure that even if you're taking them to, like selling Ugwu in the market,
so
and then you're
excusing what? Don't get me wrong. I'm not excusing what
you do like
he
this
has
now.
done.
You are living under a zinc home, and somebody wants to gift you a house. You tell me no, this is what I want.
I know better.
No, they also know better. Let me take that. They also know better. Let me take my story. No, they know better. Trust me.
No, but I mean that doesn't excuse the action. Actually, and unfortunately, we have a lot of people who are.
They are like that. They are plenty
like that. By the time they find out, I mean the history is bad.
Nigeria's sleepless student trying to beat the Lagos traffic. This was an expose that was done by BBC, and I read it. I thought it was quite interesting. I love to share because again, even today as I come, so I know the traffic will enter, and it's actually so interesting that this is the average life of every student in Lagos State. First of all, I mean, my mom was to travel back to Kaduna today. I knew how early she had to wake up, just to go and catch a 9 a.m. flight. And guess what? She spent an hour at VGC just in traffic. Wow. So this young girl, Oluwapelumi Ogbere, she wakes up. So her mom wakes up at 2 a.m. to wake her up at 4 a.m. They leave the house at 4:50 a.m. every single day. In fact, everywhere is dark. I mean, if you look at the stories, there were pictures of her mother and her holding their hands. They live in Ikorodu, and the school is at Ikeja, so they have to wake up to be able to beat that rush hour traffic to make it in time for school. So the report is a beautiful one. Look for it and just read up on it. It tells you how she's been deprived of sleep, and like her, many other children are being deprived of sleep, and what's it called? This movement is also not good in terms of development, concentrating and all of that, because at some point when you get to class you feel sleepy, you get tired, and there are children that at younger age, even younger than Pelumi, that even need to wake up. I remember part of why I did not move to my current location was because I loved the school my children were attending on the mainland. So we lived in Magodo until the last child graduated from primary school. Then we now moved to our home in Shangotedo. So I can imagine how some parents have to do all that drive. I grew up waking up at 4 a.m. My father must wake you up at 4 a.m. You come and pour water, anything, just to get up, because we lived at two extreme ends in Kaduna. Sorry, we schooled at two, so our home was at an extreme end, the school was at the extreme end. So we needed to wake up and leave the house latest 5 a.m. And this is Kaduna that has fairly decent traffic. And not to compare with Lagos that is chaotic in terms of traffic. So I would think that, if the government is looking through this report, it would be nice to understand why she would leave an Ikorodu all the way to Ikeja to go to school. Abroad, your vicinity, there is a law that your child has to go to school. So what most people do is that they spend more money on higher rents, so that they can their children can go to those schools within that is, instead of going for a cheaper rent and now go to some schools that are that are not up to standards. So I think if we start to do those kind of things at every community, every local government area, we have really good standard schools. Because I don't know why Pelum would decide to leave, her mom and her would decide to leave Ikorodu all the way to Ikeja to go to school, because there are government schools in Ikorodu. So what's happening? It's just it's a good read for people to just go through. I
must give kudos to the mom who has committed herself to that, because you can only imagine the number of women who have to do that all over Lagos.
Not only women, even men too.
Yeah, men
just to make sure that children us up every morning.
And imagine where her business is. So what if her business is back at Ikorodu?
No, it's possible her business is at Ikeja
as well.
So it's possible, so that after closing from school, she goes to meet the mom. They now come back home together.
But they'll be so tired. They'll have like less than 3 to 4 hours of sleep. Because coming back home from work, oh my goodness,
you still go through traffic.
What?
We still need to do something about Lagos traffic.
All right, on that note, we want to talk about begging. Stay with us. We'll be right back.